Hello, this is Moody Alshehaby and this is our 9th video of our Adobe After Effect course from scratch. In our previous video, we've talked about the 3D camera options, null objects and depth of field. Today in our video, we'll talk in details about render, best options for rendering, tips and tricks to render fast and more. First part in this video starts on the time shown on the screen now, and we will go through the rendering process, how to render your final work and best options for render. Second part of this video starts on the time shown in the screen now, and I will provide you 3 tips and tricks for fast render. Third part of this video starts on the time shown in the screen now, and it will be how to export a transparent video without background, with a simple exercise to use it on top of another video. Last part of this video starts on the time shown in the screen now, and I will be going old school to find a solution for not having the H.264 option to render the MP4 video. Now without any further ado, let's start. I'm gonna start here with the rendering options. I've got a video in here. Before we render, just make sure your timeline panel is selected. See that blue border here. Also make sure that you are on the right composition that you want to render. Now you can go to File, then Export, and from Export here you've got 4 options. First option, you can render it with Media Encoder, and that's another Adobe program. Second option, you can render using the After Effect render queue itself. Third option, you can save this work with a Premiere Pro format to open it with the Adobe Premiere Pro. Last option is to save it and use it with Max in Cinema 4D program. I won't be using this for Cinema 4D, neither for Premiere Pro. What's the difference here between rendering in Media Encoder and rendering here in After Effect itself? If you chose to render using the Media Encoder program, you still have the chance to continue working on your After Effect, as you're gonna render using another program. However, bear in mind that any render even using another program will take a lot of your RAM, and that will result in slowing your computer while using the After Effect. If you chose to render using the After Effect render queue, you won't be able to use your After Effect program till you finish your render. However, you won't have to install another program, just use it for render. I personally prefer to use the After Effect render queue. Or you can go to Composition, and you can find Add to Media Encoder, or Add to Render Queue and shortcut Ctrl-M. Inside your render queue, you've got 3 sections to take care of. First here is Render Settings, then the Output module, then the Output 2, and that's where you're gonna save your final work. Click here on Best Settings to open the first option. A couple things in this window that you need to take care of. You've got the quality option. Most likely you will go with the best. You've got the resolution. Again, most likely you will go with the full option. The size here is 1920 by 1080, the full HD size, and that's the size I already set for my comp. And the rest of the top section, I will leave them as they are. Proxy use, I haven't used any proxies. Effects, current settings. If you change it to all on or all off, you're gonna change any effects you have done on your layers or your videos. So leave it at current settings. Leave this part here with the standard settings. Then time sampling, also leave it as it is. And from the frame rate section, I've already set it on 29 frames per second, but you still have the option to change from here. Just click on Use this frame rate, and with those 2 arrows increase or decrease it, or click inside here and add the value that you want. I will keep it on 30 frames per second. From the motion blur, I will leave it on for checked layers, so that I don't mess with my layers. from the time span, if you want to render the entire comp or just the working area, and I will leave it on working area. However, if you want to customize it, you can add your starting and ending time to render. Then click OK. The second option is the output module or lossless. You've got the format option. I've got some options here, but most likely I use the AVI or the QuickTime. QuickTime gives me a lower size file and a good quality too. If you can't see the QuickTime option in here, I will leave a link down below for this program so you can download it and install it. The program is free. Then the post-render action. What you want to do after rendering your file. In case if you want to import something else, I will keep it on none. That's what I'm gonna use in this first section. In the second section, the video output, you have the channels. I'm gonna work on RGB for this render. And that's all I need from this section for now. We will talk more about the format options when it comes to the transparent video or the codec H.264 or the MP4 videos. Resize section, if you want to resize your video, I've already set it on the full HD size. Resize it from here if you want to. I will keep the same size for me. As well as if you want to crop your video, either from top or bottom, right or left. The last here is the output audio. You can turn it all on or off, or just keep it on auto so you don't mess with your layer setting. Then click OK. Into the last option here, and that's where you want to save your video. Click on Comp 1 here, open this window, rename your file and choose wherever you want to save it. Now just click on Render to start saving your video. Your rendering is going and your video is playing as well. Here is my video. It's 741 megabytes. At the end of this video, I will show you an old school way to drop the size enormously. I will try to render my file again using the AVI format and show you the huge difference in size between the AVI format and the QuickTime format. I will leave my options here as they are, and from the lossless, I will just change my format to AVI option. Then click OK. From the output, I'm gonna rename it AVI and click Render. See here the AVI file size, it's 2.3 gigabytes. The QuickTime file was only 741 megabytes. That's a huge difference. Now our second part of this video, I will show you 3 tricks to help you rendering fast. First way, go to Edit, down to Preference, then Memory. Here it says Installed RAM, and how much of those RAMs are kept for programs and how much are kept for Adobe After Effect. I'm keeping RAMs reserved for the other programs at the minimum. Hold this value and drag it to the left. This way you are giving your After Effect the most of your RAMs, and that should help you to render fast. Second way, press on the Shift on your keyboard and keep pressing, then go to Edit again, then Preference, then this time up to General. All this as you are still pressing on Shift. Look at this last option here, it says Secrets. Click on it. Check those 2 boxes in here. Disable Layer Cache and ignore sequence rendering errors. And then from Purge, give it a low value such as 3 or 4. And that should help you a lot to render fast. Last trick here to make your render faster. Select your timeline and your comp and press on Ctrl M to open the render queue. Just click on Render. See here your render is in progress and your video is playing in the preview window too. And that slows your render because it takes off of your RAM too. If you only pressed once on the caps lock, you will stop the video in your preview window and you will keep all the RAMs to your render, and that will help you a lot to render fast. Now to our third part of this video and how to export a transparent video. I've got a video in here, no background, only a virtual black background. Select your timeline and your comp, press Ctrl M to open the render queue. I'm gonna leave the best settings the way they are, no changes. From the lossless option, I'm gonna change a couple of things. I'm gonna keep my format on the QuickTime, no issues. And from the channels options, you've got the RGB to save it with the background. You've got the alpha to save it black and white. And you've got the RGB plus alpha. And that's the option you choose to save it with a transparent background. So select RGB plus alpha. And from the format option here, set it on animation. Then click OK and save your file. Then hit render. Now if you open the Premiere Pro, you can add your logo or your transparent video on top of a picture or another video. Now to our last part of this video, how to render using the H.264 to render an MP4 video. I've looked it up online, big deal, and tried almost everything that I've found, however nothing has worked for me. Till I got to know that this code is not supported by the late versions of the Adobe After Effect, so I decided to go old school in this part. Just save and render your file normally under any format, it won't matter now. Do you remember this? Windows Movie Maker? If you are an old video editor, you must have come across this program 15 years ago, when it used to come as a built-in program in XP Windows or Windows 2000. I'm gonna leave you a link down below to download a free version of this program. You don't have to register it. This program is incomparable with all the new montage programs like Premiere Pro. However, it's still very useful to me till today for some reason. Let me import my video and show you some goodness in this program. Here is the AVI file, and as you can see the size here is 2.3 GB and the QuickTime file size is over 700 MB. Large sizes compared to the video length, which is only 13 seconds. I will import the giant file, hold and drag your video into the main track, and without it changing anything, just hit export from here. If you have an old version and you can't find it in here, get it from the top here. Choose export to device. You can go with the iPhone device, it won't make much difference now. And from the local, you have all those formats, you can choose your MP4 format. I will change the name because I want to check on the size after rendering. I will save it to my render folder. And from the resolution section, you've got a lot of options, from HD, Full HD, 2K and even 4K. I will go with the Full HD. And the same frame rate per second also. And with a high quality. Now click export. This program actually rendering faster than After Effects or Premiere Pro, and it gives you an amazing file size. Let's open my file location. I will just take it out from here and paste it with the other files. You see the size here, 14.9 megabytes, a huge difference. The old AVI file is 2.3 GB and the QuickTime format file was over 700 MB. Enormous difference in terms of size and the same quality. So, you can keep looking for the H.264 codec for the After Effect, and please let me know in a comment below if you found any solution for it. Or you can go old school with me and use that nice movie maker program to re-render your video, and in the same time you will get your MP4 format with a huge size reduction too. Even if you want to use it for your video montage, as I'm using Premiere Pro myself for my video montage. However, as a designer, you have to spread your options and whatever works for you. You can always get the best of each and every program and combine all those elements together to get your final work done. That was our video for today: how to render, best options for rendering in After Effects, 3 tricks to render faster, how to export a transparent video to use it on top of another video, and finally, alternative way on how to get your MP4 format with a huge size reduction of your videos. In our next video, we'll go through the effects and preset panel with the most common and used effects and how to use them. Thanks a lot for watching and have a great day.